right, well, thank you.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Andrea Šichova, and I hope I don't disappoint you, but my profession is not computer science. I study psychology, and I will talk about Tablexia, the app for children with dyslexia, from the perspective of my position. I am some kind of coordinator of this project from the very beginning, and yeah, I will tell you more about it. But I firstly should tell that we developed Tablexia in CZNIC, which is actually association, non-profit association, which takes care, I'm sorry for my language, but I don't understand that so much, but takes care of the CZ domain registry. So I work in the department of research and development, which is called Labs, and we do a lot of open source development there. And you may know, for example, Tourist Omnia, which is our new router, which is open source based, and we also developed NoDNS and BERT. But I will tell you about Tablexia, which is an app for Android and iOS, and it is cognitive training for children with dyslexia. And we are specialized on the older children, because the reason why we realized that we want to develop this game was because there was a lot of teachers and psychologists who told us, well, it's fine, we can do a lot of education with these children, but they are not motivated, and especially older children are not motivated to do anything for them and to being better. So we realized we want to make a game for them to have fun, and at the same time to force them a bit to do something for them. So that is now available in Czech, Slovak, and German language. We started with the Czech version, but then our colleague from Slovak told us that they would like to have the app as well, and then we realized that it could be fun to do it also in German. And now Tablexia contains 8 games which are connected in detective topics. So there is young detective who is trying to become better detective and learn how to do that. Tablexia is already available for free on Android and iOS, and it's used already in many schools and counseling facilities in Czech Republic and also in Slovakia and Germany. But we try to convince children to use it also on their own without being forced from schools and other facilities. I would like to tell a bit about what dyslexia actually is, because I'm not sure if it's clear what I mean when I say dyslexia. So it's one of the specific learning disabilities, which means that people who have dyslexia have problems with reading and writing. But the problems with reading and writing are caused because of some deficit in cognitive functions. It means that firstly, those people have some problems with attention or working memory, which cause the problems with reading and writing. And we also used to say a lot that people with dyslexia are using a lot of different strategies how to learn. So when they have problems in some part of this cognitive functions, they are trying to avoid that and in using different learning strategies. So Tablexia should help them to find the way how to getting better and how to find the things that work for them and where are their weaknesses. We are not doing that alone in CZNIC. We are cooperating with some different universities, especially Charles University in Prague, the Department of Psychology, where I study. And we consult all the work we do on the app with Lenka Krejčová, who is a specialist on special educational problems and who helps us to make the app really working. And we also worked with Konstantin, the Philosopher University in Nitra, where some people helped us with developing the Slovak version, and also University in Vienna, where we developed the German version. And now we are doing a bit of research on Chemnitz University of Technology. And speaking about technology, I would say just a few words about the technological part of the app. We firstly developed it just for Android because it's used I think in 80% of cases where we want people to use Tablexia, it's they use smartphones or tablets with Android. So we decided to do that in the engine, but then there was a lot of people who told us that they would like to use it also for iOS. So we decided for some cross-platform development, and because the app is already written in Java, we decided to use libgdx, which allowed us to make the app for iOS and Android at the same time. And there's also option to make it on desktop, which we are going to try this year if it works and if it really works the same way as on tablets. And all the app with all the content, all sounds and pictures, it's open source under the license GPL, and you can find the project on GitLab. We also do a lot of testing with the app because from the very beginning we tried to really use children with dyslexia as the people who should tell us if it works as it should and if they like it and if they understand what they should do. But yeah, every time we have some new game which we develop, we firstly try that on our own if we are able even to play that, and if we think that it's okay, we are going to schools and we are asking children what they think about it. And we also are trying to make the game so difficult that the children are really learning something new, but at the same time not so difficult to help them to really have fun, not just be disappointed and frustrated. And now we are also trying to focus more about the effectivity of the app, because it's really interesting question if it really helps, if we let people to play some games, if it helps them to be better in reading and writing. So we try to make some pre-post test design to find out if it's true. But to be honest, it's quite difficult because we need to find a lot of children with the dyslexia. It means they should have the diagnosis, and collect them together and let them play the game for some time. So I don't know, for like 6 or 7 weeks at least, 3 times a week. But we are trying to cooperate on that with schools, but we found out that children are not going to school so much. I don't know how it's possible, but they are missing all the time, so it's really hard to catch them. And we are still working on the app, so we planned to make 10 games. So there is two left which we want to develop this year, and we also try to focus on the desktop version. And there was also a lot of questions about our languages, because the first question you maybe have is, why is it not in English? But it's quite difficult, because as we wanted to make an app which would work for Czech children, we focused on Czech language. Dyslexia is based on the specificity of each language. So people with dyslexia struggle with something else in Czech than in English. So it's not so easy to make games to be so transformable to other languages. I will show you some slides from the game so you will see maybe more about what I'm talking now. And we also, from the data we have from the app, we found out that we already have some problems with German version, because in some parts of the app where there is a lot of reading text, the German version is much harder for the children than the Czech version, because there is a lot of like huge German words which are not so easy to read. So yeah, so that's what we are going to try to fix. You can see here, this is the first game we have there. Who understands German can read that. It says robber, or in this case in German it's quite complicated because there is a lot of like gender correctness. And for example, in Czech language we don't have a word for woman detective or woman, no, detective yes, but not a woman robber. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, whatever. But in German we have to write that all the time, both. So this is the beginning of the game started to be more complicated in German language because they need to read two words instead of one at the beginning. And then you can see there is robber has some yellow whatever something on him and some glasses. And the task is to read this information, and then you will see some people coming into a shop, and you have to find out who was the robber. So in this case, it was the picture is not belonging to the text before, but it would be quite easy because you can just say, okay, this one has this. But then there are some more complicated instructions. For example, the robber is a person who has the same trousers as the person who comes before him. So the people have to really focus more on the content and use their working memory. This is another game which is on spatial orientation. So in this task, children have to put the map together to find out where the robbers are hidden. And there are different maps, and each game has 3 different levels of difficulty. So this is the easiest one, and then you have 4x4 and 5x5 maps. This game is on phonological recognition and analysis, and you hear some voices and you have to find out which one is the right one. So firstly you see some word, and then you have to find from these 3 options, you can see with the signs there, which one was the right. And in the more difficult version there is some letter missing in the middle of the word, so it's even more difficult to find out. And there was also one of the games which was quite complicated to make in German because the German works some kind of different in pronouncing words than English, than Czech, and even in English. When we were thinking about it, it seemed even worse. This is a game for training visual memory, where the detective sees some windows, and at the same time he sees a watch where some time appears, and they have to then press the right windows and put there the right time when it appeared. This game is shooting range. It's when we started to test the app with children, we asked them what other game they would like to have there, and they all told us, okay, we want to shoot someone. And we were like, yeah, it's not really that what we want to do. So we tried to put the shooting in the game, but not on the people. So yeah, they don't like that so much, but at least we tried. So this game is training of attention. You can see the flower there on the right corner. So the flower is randomly changing, and they have to shoot the right flowers on the screen. This one game is it's called In the Darkness, but it's not really in the dark. But imagine that you are here, you are this small person, and are trying to go there to the safe. And you have to plan your way to the safe through this labyrinth or building. So you have these kind of blocks, tasks what you can do. You can walk one step, or you can turn, or you can jump across the dog, or you can open the door. So you have to plan that, and if you are finished, then you can go and you will see if you did that right. Then we have visual recognition. So you can see some symbols here, and you can see also the same symbols there. So the task in this is the E level. It's to just find the right symbol. But in the more complicated version, the symbols are reversed. So they have to manipulate the symbol in the mind before. And then there is also a version where there is more symbols on the same place, so they have to find it in the middle of them. And this is for now the last game, which is on the phonological memory. So here at the beginning some kind of sounds. There is, for example, 3 sounds in the beginning, and then they see this room. They have to find out what was the sounds and in which order they were. So they put then the subjects which made the sound in this order here. And there is also some other parts of the app, which is this Hall of Fame, where you can see that when you are good and you are really getting better, you are also gaining some trophies and special prizes. And here you can also see there are some badges which show how good detective you are. There's also some part which is called statistics, which shows how are you doing in the app, and if you are getting better or not, or if there is something what you should train more, or something what you shouldn't do at all. And this is also a part which is called encyclopedia. This slide is from a web page because the app is obviously not in English, but this is how it looks like. So you have here some kind of things which are explained to the children, what that actually means that they have some kind of dyslexia or so, because they are sometimes really interested in that. But yeah, we realize that there is, like, for example, their parents sometimes even don't know what that means, so we try to make that easier for them to understand, and there is at the end some tip what they can do to learn better. And all the texts are also with recording, so they can hear that at the same time they read it, which helps them to understand it better. And that's it for me. I thank you for your attention.
You're saying you want to translate other languages. What kind of people are you looking for?
Well, yeah, the question was what kind of people we are looking for to translate the app in other languages. Yeah, translation is easy, but it's complicated in the meaning of the dyslexia. So we need some kind of expert, as we did that in, for example, with the German version. We asked a person on the University of Vienna who understands dyslexia in German context. And yeah, so that's basically what we need. That's the biggest problem we have. Because we have people who are programming that, and yeah, then we of course need some native speaker to record all the texts, but that's also not such a big deal. Okay, it's okay.
By anecdotal evidence, does it work?
Okay, we asked the people who are really working with app, who are giving that to children on the daily basis, and they told us we think it works. We saw some kind of evidence. We see that if they do this task, then they are getting better in this real life task. I'm sorry, there was a question.
So these games are to help kids with dyslexia, but can they also be used or similar games to diagnose it, or are there any plans for that as well?
The question was if we can use that also to diagnose dyslexia. Well, we can't. It's quite complicated, but we can say in which particular cognitive functions are some deficits. So we can say, yeah, okay, spatial orientation, it's a big problem, but you are really good in working memory. But we can't say, okay, you are dyslexic. Yeah, that was... Okay. Yep.
How long have you been working to get where you are?
4 years. Yeah. Oh, the question was how long it took to be here. Yeah.
I saw earlier when you were about to think of some kind of test to actually get data on how effective it is.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I understand the question.
You were going to do some tests to see how effective it was. Do you have any idea when that will be?
Yeah, we already started with that, and the question was, the question was what or how we, or if we already did some kind of effectiveness research, or are we going? We started in last year. We did some kind of pilot testing, but the thing is that it's even hard to tell what should be the test we use to find out if it really works. So we have some kind of cognitive tests, but is that really what we want to measure? And then we have some kind of reading and writing tests. But the problem is that for these older children, 11 to 15, there is, for example, in Czech Republic, there's not so much tests we can use. And they already know the tests, because those are the tests they were measured with to be diagnosed with dyslexia. So the tests are already biased. Yep.
Have you tested against school zones or something like that?
It's not transferable.
Schools do all the time.
Yeah, the question was if we try to measure that against test results or school results. It's not what we can actually. I don't think it's a good idea at all, because yeah. Yeah.
Is there room in the school agenda to use your tool during school lessons? Do you know whether the dyslexic children are in the normal school as a child or?
Yeah, usually they are in normal schools, because the deficit is usually not so huge to make them being in some special schools. But there are in the schools sometimes some classes where only the children with dyslexia are, maybe from different classes, but for this one lesson where they are doing some kind of re-education. So they are doing this cognitive trainings, and also some kind of reading and writing trainings too. Yeah. And there is also a lot of facilities where people with dyslexia are attending some kind of re-education without the school context. So it's in their free time, let's say.
As a kind of remedial teaching.
Yeah.
If you make a duck version, there are a lot of possible languages.
Yeah, we already...
There are a lot of them. I am a teacher, and we have a lot of kids with dyslexia.
Yeah.
So, and we're always looking for a way to put that and give them extra attention to work with these problems. It will work.
Yeah, we were already in contact with some people from Netherlands and Belgium, but it didn't work out. It's quite a complicated process to put that all together, and we are now focused on finishing 10 games, and then we can maybe easily transfer more easy. Yeah, exactly.
I think we're going to have to stop there.
Yeah.
Thank you. Excellent.